Ah, the sound of sweet freedom. The question is, brass or steel? First, let's dive into a brief history of steel case ammo, beginning with brass. Before 1940, cartridge cases had been made almost exclusively of brass because brass possessed certain physical characteristics. The walls of the case, for example, must be elastic enough to expand under pressure and then contract instantly when the pressure is released. The expansion is necessary to prevent any gases from being driven back into the breech. After firing, the empty case must snap back to its original size so that it may be readily ejected from the gun. Because of the high pressures generated within the case when the powder ignites, the case must have great tensile strength at the head, but the mouth must be annealed to much lesser strength to permit the necessary expansion. Remember that fact because it will be the basis for why steel can stick in the AR chamber during extraction, explained later in this video, and it may not be what you think it is. Now for steel. The Germans began using steel-cased ammo at the beginning of World War II due to the difficulty in securing enough copper to make brass. It was also lacquer-coated to prevent rust on the cases. Steel-cased ammo is generally loaded lighter than standard military loads. Steel-cased ammunition is available with 3 types of coatings: lacquer, polymer, and zinc-coated. To prevent rust and corrosion of the cartridge case, older steel-cased ammo is often lacquer finished. In America, the development of steel small arm cases was carried on concurrently with the development of steel artillery cases. After firing, brass artillery cases could be cleaned and used over and over again. Brass cases were relatively easy to manufacture, and a well-established brass industry stood ready to supply the essential alloy for the purpose. Because of the extremely high pressures generated in small arms cartridges, the substitution of steel for brass posed more difficulty than it did in artillery cases. At the outset of the project, a broad division of labor between government and industry was agreed upon. Development of commercial types of ammunition, such as shotgun shells and the .22 caliber, was left largely to the commercial arms manufacturers, while ordnance facilities concentrated their attention on the .20, .45, and .50 calibers. Something to note: of all the small arms cartridges, the .45 caliber, a short squat case, proved easiest to convert to steel. Some AR-15 rifles start to have problems with lacquer-coated steel-cased ammo. Switching to modern production steel-cased ammo with a polymer coating sometimes alleviates this problem. Wolf ammo no longer coats steel cases with lacquer, having switched to a polymer coating, yet Wolf manufactured steel cases still will lock up in AR rifles. So what's happening here? It's the fundamental difference between the characteristics of steel and brass cartridge cases. When a cartridge is fired, the pressure builds inside the case. The case wall expands against the chamber, forming a seal, and prevents the gas from flowing back inside the action. Brass is much more pliable than steel and expands more efficient, forming a tighter seal. Steel cases often do not expand as well and allow a certain amount of gas back into the chamber, causing an increase of carbon buildup in the chamber. Then when a cartridge does expand properly, it can lock in the chamber, getting stuck due to the excess carbon fouling, especially if you fire brass right after using steel. This is not a problem with weapons designed around steel case ammo, such as the AK series, with looser chamber tolerances. But with most ARs, not all, the tolerances are tighter, and this increased carbon buildup is a factor. So you want to run steel in your AR-15, but you want to run it efficiently. Well, first of all, you need to make sure your AR-15 is well cleaned and lubricated, dripping wet, especially the bolt carrier group. Since steel-cased ammunition also results in higher degree of carbon buildup, you need to use a high-quality solvent like M-Pro 7 along with a synthetic lubricant. Thoroughly clean your bolt. Pay close attention to the bolt face and extractor. Remove the extractor to clean underneath as well. You will also need to clean the chamber with a good chamber brush. You will also need to clean your rifle more often when shooting steel-cased ammo, at least once every 500 rounds. You see, what is happening is you're getting carbon fouling in the chamber, and if you switch from steel to brass before cleaning, this can cause the brass to stick into the chamber. A lot of people think that it is the lacquer or polymer coating that's melting into the chamber, but that's not the case. It's the carbon fouling that's getting past the steel case and getting into your chamber. That builds up, you'll get brass stuck into your chamber. Some AR rifles have smaller gas ports and will not cycle well with the reduced loads found in most steel-cased ammunition. It is important that your AR's gas system runs well. Anytime you start messing with the gas port on your rifle, you run the risk of destroying the barrel or causing it to be overgassed. Please consult a professional if you decide you're going to change your gas port size. Using a lower weight buffer or a lighter buffer spring may also help when shooting steel-cased ammo. If you still run into problems, and this is a factor causing feed jams, switch to brass case ammo such as American Eagle. So in conclusion, if you're having trouble running steel case ammo in your AR rifle platform, some of these tips may help you out. Not all ARs are created equal. I do have a Soviet block weapon that shoots steel flawlessly. I do have an AR rifle that will shoot it, but not very successfully. I do get feed jams every 100 rounds or so. So it is your choice to shoot steel or brass. So which do you shoot?